say nice things. Don't be
Welcome,
offensive.
everybody, to Dead Talk Live. And today we have writer director Paul Andrew Williams with us. Paul, thank you for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm suddenly frightened to death about the live element of it.
you
I'm
know,
just
a
waiting for
lot of
something to go really bad.
a lot of people are, and for some reason, I cannot do this show pre-recorded. I'm so critical of myself. I would never be able to get through a pre-recorded show. But when it's live, it's done.
Past bananas, man.
Yeah, there's no taking it back. So anyway, Paul's new movie is called Bull. It's being released to theaters April 1st, and then coming to video on demand several days later on April 5th. Now, Paul, I've seen this movie. The synopsis, sort of categorizes it as a revenge movie, but I was just blown away. I was just absolutely blown away. So let's just get started. Uh, this focuses on a crime family in the United Kingdom. Okay. Now, through movies throughout the years, the mob, crime families, organized crime has been depicted really primarily in the United States. So, how much of a problem, if it is a problem, in the United Kingdom are families like we see in the movie Bull? Crime, organized related family.
Do you know what? I think it depends on what level you call the organized crime scenario, right? So these guys who live in this small place are not the sort of organized crime family with hands in pockets all over the world and dealing with the Colombians and stuff like that. It's all very close to home. So it's an organized crime, but it's a very kind of small pond.
Hmm.
And actually, so what they do, it's a bit crap. Do you know what I mean? It's not like bringing in shipments of cocaine and fine pieces of art. They're actually, as you see in the film, dealing in dodgy meat
Hmm.
and dealing in the sort of things that small towns use and have.
Like
So
extortion and whatnot.
yeah, I mean, the fact is look, they all deal with, you can see by the florid jackets and what they do, and looking at the houses that they live in, they all deal in like rubbish or garbage. They all deal in, and I think they've cornered the market in that, and I think they make money however they can, but I don't think it's in the ways, you know, uh, in sort of the cool Miami Vice ways.
Yeah, yeah. It's
You know,
nothing like the Corleones like we see in The
no.
Godfather. No, no. Now, this story, like we said, is a revenge story, but what really grabs you from the very beginning, from the very opening scene, is the sheer brutality that you give us on the screen. Literally, it goes from 0 to 60 and then to 100 throughout the whole film with the graphic nature and the brutality. What was your driving force behind that?
It's so weird because you don't, when you're making it and you're coming up with it, you don't see it as brutal as other people who are going to watch it, right? So when I hear that what you're saying, I'm like, of course, that's how it looks to other people. And depending on your tolerance for violence or tolerance for on-screen, nasty stuff, I mean, that's how either shocked, offended, and blasé you will be by it. I think that what is interesting, I don't look at it as like a shockingly violent, brutal film so much. Even though those sequences are that do have, you can fit all those words around the sequences. I think for me it's like, what's horrible about it is it's looks real. Some of it, even though it's a bit, might be classed as a bit silly, but it looks real.
Oh,
It looks
yeah.
authentic. And I think that when we see violence on screen, it's easy to digest. It's so removed from what we see in real.
Hmm.
It's what we imagine real violence to be. And I was saying, if you saw someone get stabbed in real life, it's horrific.
Oh, yeah.
we'd be turning away and we'd feel it would be not nice. Now
Oh
you can
yeah,
watch people getting stabbed and getting punched and getting all that sort of stuff on TV. It's not real, it's fake, it's all shit. But I think that, I've seen people get hit and stuff, and I've seen some get glassed, and it's horrible, right? And I
it
think that
is.
with some of these things, even though some of this stuff is fantastical, it's played real. It's played as if it really happened. It's played as if it's played for the people in the room and not for the audience. That's how I think it is.
And that's what makes this movie so great, is because it's not just another story about revenge. The brutality is a big driving force to the film, and the emotions behind Bull. Now, Neil Maskell, who plays Bull, is absolutely brilliant in this film. He doesn't look like your stereotypical mobster enforcer. He looks like the dad next door, and so when it came time to cast Bull, what was it about Neil that really grabbed you and said, this is who's going to play Bull?
But I think the thing about Neil is he's first of all, he's an absolutely lovely bloke. He's a really nice guy, and I really like, just being mates with him. But also, he is someone who has, the biggest emotional range, and it's all so accessible that as a performer or as an actor, you never know what you're going to get from
Mm-hmm.
one second to the next. So you can get extreme love, extreme kindness, and an extreme rage, and extreme terror. You get all these things, and you just don't know what reaction you're going to get to something, and
Mm-hmm.
that's quite terrifying. Um, and that's why I think that's what he brings to this part.
He
Um,
does.
because he acts on his emotions. Now, that's not to say that he's, the acts of violence that he commits. I don't think they're not done for kicks. They're done just emotion, just an emotional drive, and I think that's what makes it so tough. But also, he's a really nice guy in it. He really
Exactly.
loves his kid a lot.
And speaking
You
about
know,
that, I would not classify Bull as a psychopath because you made it very clear to show us in the movie the time that he spends with his son and the amount of love and care that he has for his son and is willing to do everything he can. Was that very important for you as the writer and director of this film to show us the human side of Bull?
yeah. I mean, the thing is we're all cute. He's human, and all we all have the different facets that Bull has. Maybe not to the extreme level, but we all have the ability to be loving and caring and feel all these things. But we also have the ability for anger, and obviously it depends on what degree you show that. But I think for me, being a father and knowing what I would do for my child, that's always interested me. And I think you can compartmentalize things. Um, you know, look at people like Pablo Escobar, who would
Yeah,
ring up his kid when he was on the run and read stories to him, and he loved his kids. Do you know what I mean? And that's so. There's two sides. There's so many sides of all people that I think those are just different sides of him.
absolutely, absolutely. Now the ending to this film blew me away. I mean, we're not going to give anything away here, but as a lifelong fan of cinema, I did not see that ending coming whatsoever. I was like, "Oh my god!" Now, was that something that you knew before you started writing the script how you wanted to end this film, or was it a work in progress as you were writing the script?
It was always going to be that ending, right? It was always going to be that, and it was always going to be the story of how he got there and so on. It was always going to be that. I think there was a couple of discussions on how clear we make it, um, and how. because I'm like, I don't want to make it clear. I want to leave it to the audience to sort of get it, work it out, and look, it's an ending that has made some people really like, some people really like it, some people hate it. What are you going to do, man? And you're never going to please everyone, so fuck it, man. If some people like
Exactly.
it, that's great. So it's, if everyone hated it, I'd have to, that was the problem. But the fact is that some people really think it worked.
I do. I love the ending. Like I said, it's because it shocked me. And as a fan of movies, if I sit down and I watch something and I'm completely blown away, did not see something coming, I'm like, kudos. That is was brilliantly done. And I could see the part where you're talking about leaving it up to the viewer interpretation. Towards the ending, when he does go to the church, it does get a little bit confusing. And as the viewer, you're trying to figure out what exactly is happening before we get the big reveal. Now, when you were creating the character of Bull, did you did you use anybody from the news or people you knew as form of inspiration?
Not really, just people. There's people I've met in my life who I've been frightened of, but I've also liked, and you know, but I used to work in a pub, and I just used to work with people in there, and it was a kind of a rough pub, and the American equivalent of a dive bar, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but everyone who worked there worked in rubbish and refuse, and I described them as none of them had wallets, right? Everyone only dealt with cash,
Mm-hmm.
and all they did was work, drink, plan stuff, and I just, so they were all unpredictable, and I think that was one of the things that influenced me is their lives.
Now, let's talk about David Hyman, who plays sort of the head of the family, Norm. Again, brilliant actor. He did a brilliant job. If you look at him, again, he looks like somebody's granddad. There's no way that this guy can be harmful to anybody, but he is a very ruthless character. When it came time and you were directing uh, David on how you wanted Norm to be portrayed, did you two have to have a lot of conversations on just the sheer brutality that this man possesses?
No, because do you know what we didn't? He came on board quite late, so I didn't really have a lot of time to spend with it. I think he got it from reading it, of what this character was, because even in the script, there's no there's no bump. There's just what he is,
Mm-hmm.
and you said it yourself. Then he looks like a granddad. Well, he is a granddad. That's the whole point. Is that a lot of mass murderers are dads and granddads, and they're just normal people, but they have a quality that can be absolutely terrifying. And he's also terrifying because he's terrifying because of the way people react to him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's doing he's doing the barbecue at the beginning. He doesn't give a fuck about any of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's not worried, and I think assured, being self assured in you is often very scary to other people,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what he is. He's incredibly assured in what he can do and what he will do. And I think that a lot of the time, people sell too much. People sell themselves too much. If you've got the shit, dude, you don't need to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't need to sell you how good I am at fucking kicking people's head in because I know I can and I'm not worried.
You walk the walk
That kind of,
instead of talking the talk. Yeah.
yeah, you do. And yeah, he walks with a bit of a limp, but yeah, no, he does do that walk. But that's the thing. He doesn't need to show he's a fucking big tough guy. If he's just tough, you
Uh,
know.
yeah, yeah, I totally get it. Now, I found myself rooting for Bull throughout this whole movie. Was that something that you were going for? Is it something you wanted to leave up to the viewers? You know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna root for Gemma, okay, the wife, who I don't really see anybody rooting for. She was just a really yucky
Yeah, she's not very
character.
nice.
Yeah.
When I
Uh,
think, yeah, what I think that basically people, I do want people to root for Bull, but I'm also like, he does some fucking horrific things. But then I like the idea that you think, who is this guy? He's a fucking maniac. And lots of maniacs actually might really want to root for him from day one without thinking about it. But it's not long before you're like, okay, I want to know why he's doing it. And then you start to know why. And then you go, right, fuck it, I want him to do it.
yeah. Now, you tell this movie through a series of flashbacks and then the present day. I've had this discussion with a lot of other filmmakers. That's very tricky to pull off, and if it's not done properly, it can sort of make a movie not so good. You did it very well in giving us the backstory to Bull, his relationship with the family, the deterioration of that relationship, and then going back and forth from past to present. Did that present any kind of challenges for you as a director?
Not for me. It only came because some people were saying, basically, um, development people when they were watching it, first of all, were like, will the audience know that we're in a flashback yet? And I'm like, well, we've just seen that guy die. So you would assume
Yeah,
that people will get it. And the thing is people might not get it straight away, but they will get it,
exactly.
right?
Because
So
it's when it does flip back and forth, you don't immediately know as soon as the scene changes that you're in the past. It takes a couple of seconds to a minute. Oh, we're back in the past now. And for me, I enjoyed that, you know, as opposed to, someone coming up the screen and telling you 4 months earlier or
yeah,
something, and saying like that.
I mean, the
That's,
thing is you can work it out.
yeah,
You can work. I think you just assume that an audience is going to be able to go, huh? Oh, right, okay. Rather than I don't get it. Okay, just turn it off.
one of the big indicators that I use of a movie that's made an impact on me is if in the day after and the days following I see the movie, I'm still thinking about it. And that's what happened with Bull. I was analyzing it and thinking about it and going over that ending again. I'm like, wow, this is really good. And it really shocks me. I can't emphasize that enough when I absolutely had no idea about even a hint about this ending. And I just want to let you know that's how much that ending caught me off guard. And again, kudos to you. Now, the name Bull, it instills fear, somebody you should be afraid of. It's also the title of the movie. What was the inspiration for the name Bull?
Just like you just said. Well, mainly because it's like, masculine. And, it has, I think just the saying it, for me, it just feels like someone who's not going to fucking move unless,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're just badass. Don't get in their way.
Exactly. It's somebody you don't want to mess with. We're almost out of time. I just have one more question for you. When it came to the final showdown between Bull and Norm, uh, did you want it to have it to be more explicit than the way it worked out? Because it was a little bit subdued compared to the other parts of the movie. I mean, like I said, I'm tiptoeing around giving away any spoilers. I don't want to do that. But I mean, are you
I think that,
satisfied with the
oh,
showdown
God, yeah.
between Bull and Norm?
Yeah, I love that because really this showdowns between him and Gemma,
Yeah,
you know, and when he's with her, I really believe him in that moment. And it's definitely, for me, it's a more emotional uh, moment in the film. And it's got little bits of violence here and there, but actually, if you look at Bull doing it, it's an emotional release rather than
Than the
you
pure
know a
physical
violent
aspect.
one. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that we've seen you've seen enough stuff going on.
Did you get any kind of
Uh,
pushback? I'm sorry, I don't mean to rush. I know that we have a time
no, that's all
limit.
right.
I just
No, mate, go for it.
did you get any kind of pushback from people involved with the film, investors or anybody like that, that you're taking the violence a little too far?
No, they were really good about it. Actually,
Good. I'm glad they
I think
understood.
they were just like, we're not going to market it as anything other than what it is.
Yeah,
We're not going to.
yeah. It was
It's
brilliant. It was brilliant. Paul, we're out of
John, man.
time.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much, guys.
Hey,
The
thank you, man.
the movie is called Bull. Like I said, it's coming out in theaters this Friday, April 1st, and then very soon after to video on demand. Whether you go to theaters or watch it on video on demand, please check it out. You will not be disappointed. Whether you're an action, horror, drama, whatever kind of genre you're into, this movie's going to not let you down. Paul, thank you so much. Thank you to
Hey, thank you, John. Thank you.
it was an honor to talk to you. Thank you to our
I do.
viewers who are tuning in live and those who are going to watch this later on. On behalf of Paul, Andrew Williams, and myself,
Thank
stay
you.
safe and stay walking. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.